Sure, if that's what you want.
Andy was a top worker and one of the boss's inner circle. He worked overtime nearly every evening, most Saturday mornings and often on a Sunday morning. He was going through a sticky divorce. I guess the two things might have been related. So he could keep shared custody of his kids, they stayed at his place one night in the week and one at the weekend. The weeknight meant that he had to drop them at school the next morning, which meant he would come into work about half an hour late. After a few weeks of this, the boss came over and in front of everyone started dressing him down. The bottom line was that he had to be at his desk by 8:30 every morning from then on. Andy played it cool. He didn't look away from his computer screen. I don't think he even stopped typing. He just said, "Sure, if you want me to work strict office hours, just say it." The boss stood in silence for what seemed like an age, and then just walked away.
I worked at a place that has had an all-employee meeting a couple times a year. At one particular meeting, the CEO kind of grumbled that when he looks out the window at 4:30 there are hardly any cars in the lot and wondered aloud if people are working a full day. One of the old-timers raised his hand and asked if the CEO ever looked out the window at 7 a.m. because that's when many people start work to avoid the worst of the traffic. It was never brought up again.
Something tells me that the boss will regret his decision. You don't dress down someone who is hardworking and does work beyond office hours for not being exactly on time in the morning. Doing that will cost you dearly.
I feel like the boss realized that Andy being late a couple times wasn't worth losing his overtime or weekend work. Base managed to remove foot from mouth. Impressive. Edit, I just caught this typo now, 2 hours later. Have at it. I need a laugh today. I work a contract, IT, and my contract states I'm only allowed to work more than 8 hours per day, 40 hours per week if the client pre-approves. My first role, the manager told me if you're working and it's important, I trust you, have at it. That was 4 years, worked great for all involved. Manager of new role, sorry, your contract doesn't allow for any comp or OT and clarity won't allow you to put in beyond that. Me, my agency contract doesn't state that, please send me an email stating what you said. Cue me literally leaving conference calls immediately as I hit 8 hours for the day.
After a couple months of me doing that and declining meeting invites that run beyond my time of leaving or are scheduled after, he told me I need to stop doing it. Sorry, the company won't allow me to bill beyond 8 hours per day, so obviously it doesn't want me to do so and doesn't think it's important I do. Silence.
And he dropped the mic as the boss hurried away.
I feel there is more to this story. Was there not any fallout for Andy deciding to not work over? Or did Andy realize there is more to life than work? I'm friends with a guy who just got a leadman position at work. He was warned that a maintenance guy is milking extra hours. And when there is nothing for him to do, just send him home. I let the new lead man know that it's good that the maintenance guy does stay extra so that there are 2 of them after hours, so if he were to have an accident, or worse after hours, that he has someone there to help him. I'm not sure if the company sees it that way, but another lead told me he was glad to have the same maintenance guy wait for him to lock up before leaving. Wise boss, though it took quite a shove to reveal his wisdom. You stopped the story before you got to the malicious compliance. There is no confirmation of compliance. This recounting is flawed without hearing what ultimately happened. More evidence that workaholism is not worth it. Unpaid overtime equals corporate welfare. Boss, like too many bosses, think he is the smartest man in the room. Andy reminded him. He is a blowhard bully not taken seriously by him. Not from the US, so maybe it's different, but I would count up my hours I worked. Look how many overhours I've got and take a vacation with those. Well, you ask for 40 hours of work every week. In the last 20 weeks I've worked an average of 56. So I'll be taking an 8 weeks break. Over here this would mostly be done automatically. During the busy season, a lot of our technicians worked 4 days per week because they managed 48 Monday, Thursday, so they took Friday off.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.